So I'm going to start off with a little look at my main room in here and kind of go from there. On this side we've got the Taz 5 cranking out some parts. That's being run with a Linux laptop workstation. I'm making some camera support gear. Further on, this is where I designed the parts using Windows 10 computer, current version of Lightwave. That's actually what's printing right now. Probably my favorite tool this year. Picked up a digital calipers that lets me perfectly make parts the wrong size. This is the computer I use most of the time. It's my email and internet computer. Is running on that little tiny box down there under the octopus. It's a Chrome operating system computer. Over here, another laptop, Windows 10, used sometimes. Xerox color laser printer. Couple of seats that I picked up on Craigslist out of a Mercedes. They are Recaro leather bucket seats out of one of the two-seaters, and pimped them out on some sweet looking casters there. The idea was, you can see that green outline on the wall. This is part of the Mars Clipper set that I started to build. The idea was, picture pretty much the size of a cockpit of a B-29, if that makes any sense to you, but 5-foot ceiling, follow the arc of that green line, and you'd have two of these seats side by side for a two-person crew on a spaceship. I was thinking about doing physical shooting in here and then building a curved ceiling over top of it. But as probably about the second page of the script, I realized that I was going to run out of room, and production came to a screeching halt. So I've still got the green line on the wall 2 years later. This is one of those cool things that you find sometimes. I think it was an entertainment center, this wood piece. It's now a stand-up desk that I use for a work bench. And like every other flat surface in my life, it's completely stacked 3 high of everything. Current project over here that I'm working on, I've got these 18-volt flashlights that come with 18-volt batteries. I've also got some power tools that use that. And I was thinking, man, wouldn't it be cool if I had a power jack off of that I could use to do things like charge my phone. So I'm going to be cutting into this somewhere, probably up here somewhere, put a USB port on the top, and then when I'm not working I can charge my phone. Just because over on this side, all your various battery chargers for everything. Retro. How many of you guys got one of those? Alright, panning back, one of the whiteboards. As I think of stuff, I write it up there. Other side, whiteboard. This is kind of fun. Currently designing my, I'm going to call it a homestead project. We've got property over by El Paso that I'm trying to get moved over to. So I keep thinking of different ideas for how to build a shop on the cheap. And one idea was to build a little shack first that I could live in and then build the shop next to it. So, something like that. It's supposed to be a living room, but it's more of a garage and a tinker space, I guess. Tinker space, that's the good word now. So, we got various storage and parts and tools. wire loom and electrical stuff. Boxes and bins, tools. These work lights are pretty awesome. LED, they don't pull very much power. These are still AC powered, but I could run them off an inverter pretty easy. More light. Very awesome lamp made by my grandfather. Okay, this is the main tinker space. Again, completely covered. I've now got 2 of these cameras, the one I'm shooting with and its brother. When I buy cameras, I usually buy 1 or 2 versions older than the new one. So these are the, let me see if I get it right, GH3 by Panasonic. Liking it a lot. Okay, so we've got, in no particular order, this is a battery pack off of one of the power tools that I use, and I 3D printed this adapter that I could pull power out of the battery pack, sort of like the flashlight over there I was talking about, but these are smaller. So I made a couple more, and let's see, from that we get these little circuit boards down here. We can charge phones with that, power LED lights. One of the cool things I figured out a while ago, you take your normal that's the guts out of a car charger for your smartphone. Take it apart, it's a lot easier to wire it into something. Just plug wires into there, takes 12 volts in, 5 volts out, USB ports. And those are real easy to find and usually not very expensive. Some yard lights that are going to get hacked into something. Let's see. Another 3D printed part. This duplicates a battery with an external power source, so if you don't happen to have your batteries charged, you can plug it into something else. Another laptop. What is that? 3 here and 3 more somewhere else. This one's got a bunch of solar panels sitting on it from a project that we started on a while ago. Oh, these are fun. I came up with this a while ago. That is a GoPro mount that is 3D printed as one piece as a tripod mount. And then the other part of that, where's the rest of it? This is going to be, there we go, not very well lit today. That'll mount on top of a camera. It'll have batteries inside, and it'll have lights on the top of it, or on the front of it, like so, for doing video lighting, because it's not always very bright in here. And that will be based on this earlier prototype that I made. This is a 12 volt brick that I made. It's got USB ports, alright, 12.4, and it's also got these lights on the top. Oops, other way. Right. Which actually works pretty good. So, once I have that mounted on the camera, it'll be useful. And let's see what else is there. It's about 90% done, I just never finished it. Like a lot of things around here. Seems to be the trend is when I get a weekend coming up, like today, it's a 3-day weekend, so I dream up some new project and try to finish it. Let's see other projects here. This one worked out pretty good. I made these brackets, and this is the same white pipe that was on that other project. And so I made a wire spool holder that fits under the countertop. This has been a good year for me as far as getting the tools that I never could afford in one way or another. Like I've never taken the time usually to buy parts holders, which gives me a sort of a hope of getting things organized. Work in progress. You know, I've got stuff that I never bothered to buy before. Like, you know, I got an actual real soldering station that has temperature control, and you know, I took the time to buy an actual tip cleaner and have things kind of set up to where I can do things that I've always wanted to be able to do. I've got a power supply, bought that this year. So, oh, and the funny part, 3D printer. For anybody who doesn't know about these things, it gives you can make parts out of plastic. This one is using ABS plastic, so it's fairly strong, tough material. It's very accurate. I complain sometimes that they're pretty slow, but it's enormously fast compared to what a real manufacturing process would be. I mean, I can draw up a part and have it in my hand within an hour, usually an hour or two, depending on what I'm making. These ones will be a couple of hours, but they're 3 different parts printing at the same time. So anyway, this particular printer new was about $2,500. Now, I could probably have seen spending $500 on something like that, but it turned out that I actually won this thing for free, and I didn't believe it. I almost deleted the email when I got it. It was a company that sells electronic parts that I buy from sometimes, and they had a raffle, and you just filled out a short survey, and they were asking some questions. What would you be interested in, that kind of thing. And so, you know, I filled it out in the middle of the night, hit send, promptly forgot all about it, and then I got an email a month later and said, hey, congratulations, you won. Well, if you've been on the internet for more than about 4 hours, you realize that if an email says, congratulations, you've won, that's usually spam and they're trying to steal your information. And normally I delete those things first, but this one I happen to recognize the name that it came from, the company. It came from Spark Fun, which as evidence that I do buy from them. I love their red boxes. Anyway, there you go. So I haven't bought $2,500 worth of stuff from them, but I don't feel bad about passing the word on them anyway. Great company, have really good stuff. So anyway, I'm like, sure, you know, I think I won this thing, and I was trying not to get too excited and everything. And then I got, you know, FedEx tracking, and the weight of the box seemed substantial, so I went and picked it up at the FedEx store, and it was a real box, and I was like, holy cow, I actually won this thing. So practically every weekend it is busy printing something. I would probably print things 23.5 hours a day on it, except it's kind of noisy, it gives off a lot of heat, and every now and then it'll fail a print and it just makes this huge mess of melted plastic, and I'm kind of nervous to leave it alone unattended, because, you know, if you burn the house down, that's really bad, especially when you live in an apartment. They get mad about that kind of thing.